The story begins at an airport. We see a pilot named Brad walking quickly toward his plane while talking to his daughter on a video call. His daughter says, "Dad, I saw the news this morning. The place you're flying to has terrible weather. Many flights were canceled. You should cancel yours too and come home." Brad smiles and replies, "Don't worry, sweetheart. I've flown safely through storms like this before. I'll be home soon." Hearing that, his daughter smiles and ends the call. Brad then enters the cockpit and meets his co-pilot, who looks nervous, as it's his first flight. An air hostess walks in and calls Brad outside. A police officer tells him, "Captain, due to an emergency, you'll have to take a prisoner with you. His name is Tony, a powerful and dangerous man accused of murder. He is being transferred to another country for life imprisonment." Brad agrees and seats Tony at the back so no passenger gets disturbed. Soon, everyone boards. Brad checks the cabin, and the plane takes off. After reaching altitude, Brad puts the plane on autopilot and chats with his co-pilot about family. He shows a photo of his daughter and says, "I love her more than anything. It's just the two of us in this world." Meanwhile, passengers are enjoying the flight, unaware of what's coming next. Suddenly, the weather turns bad. The plane starts shaking lightly. Brad senses something is wrong. He announces for everyone to fasten seatbelts and tries to contact the control tower, but all radios stop working due to the storm. Then, a sudden lightning strike hits the plane. It jolts violently. Brad rushes out to check the passengers. Thankfully, everyone is safe. But the cabin lights start flickering. More turbulence hits the plane, shakes hard. Brad's head hits the ceiling, and he falls, bleeding from his forehead. Panic spreads among passengers. Brad returns to the cockpit and, with his co-pilot, struggles to regain control. Visibility drops to 0. "We have to bring the plane down," Brad says. "One more hit and we'll crash." They begin descending rapidly. Passengers scream in fear. A police officer guarding Tony drops his phone. When he unbuckles to pick it up, an air hostess unbuckles to help, but as the plane dives, both hit the ceiling hard and die instantly. The pilots finally stabilize the plane, but power is fading fast. Brad decides they can't reach the airport and must crash land somewhere safe. They spot an island ahead. "We'll try to land there," Brad says. After a tense few minutes, Brad manages a miraculous emergency landing on a road near the island as shore. Everyone survives. No one is hurt. After landing, a short circuit sparks inside the plane, but Brad smiles, realizing some power still remains. An air hostess tells him that the police officer and one hostess are dead. Brad feels devastated. Meanwhile, the airline owner realizes one of his planes has gone missing, with radio contact lost. He calls a rescue expert named Scarsdale, a specialist in finding lost people. "Find out where my plane went, who's alive, and how to bring them back," he orders. Scarsdale begins the search. On the island, passengers question why they landed here. Brad gathers everyone and says, "It was an emergency landing. The plane still has some power left. We'll fix what we can. Stay calm, we'll get out of here soon." He checks the systems, but realizes they must wait for help. Using maps, the co-pilot identifies the island. This is a private island, dangerous territory. The people here don't follow any government. "If they find us, we're dead," Brad replies. "Then we must contact our rescue team before they find us." They try to fix the radio, but the lightning strike had destroyed it completely. Brad tells everyone, "The radio is dead. But don't panic. I'll go find another signal and call for help. Tony will come with me." He unlocks Tony's handcuffs. "Co-pilot, you stay and repair the power. I'll find a way to call for rescue." Brad and Tony head into the jungle. As they walk, Tony thanks Brad for trusting him. Meanwhile, On another part of the island, a terrorist group learns about the plane's arrival. Their leader pays a man for the information and orders his men to get ready. Back in the jungle, Tony asks, "Why do you free me? And where are we going?" Brad answers, "Because I can risk the others' lives. There's a dangerous group here and I'll need your help to fight them." Tony reveals, "I served in the U.S. military for years. I can handle this." But suddenly Tony disappears. Brad turns, he is gone. Tony has escaped. Brad continues alone and finds an old abandoned factory. Inside, he discovers an ancient phone. It is broken, but he repairs the wires and gets a weak connection. He quickly calls the airline helpline, giving his location, but the voice on the other end can't hear him properly and disconnects. Thinking fast, Brad calls his daughter. He tells her his coordinates and asks her to deliver the note to the airline office. But before he can finish, someone attacks him from behind. Brad fights back and knocks the man unconscious. Suddenly, another figure enters it as Tony. He has returned after killing several terrorists and taking their weapons. "Don't worry, Brad," Tony says. "It's me." He tosses Brad a gun for protection. In the basement, they find a camera and passports. The footage shows kidnapped foreigners being ransomed and even after payment, the victims are killed. Brad realizes, our passengers are in danger. They take a terrorist truck and rush toward the plane. Meanwhile, at the plane, passengers hear an approaching vehicle and think the rescue team has arrived. But it's the terrorists. They open fire, terrifying everyone. Brad and Tony hear the gunshots and speed toward the scene. The terrorists capture the passengers and demand a list from the air hostess. The co-pilot tells them, "The captain went into the jungle and hasn't returned yet." Brad and Tony arrive silently and watch from a distance. When one woman tries to run, she is shot dead. Brad wants to help, but Tony stops him. "Not now. We can face them all." The terrorists load the passengers into a bus and take them to their camp, leaving 2 men behind to loot the plane. Brad gets angry. "They took our people. You stopped me." Tony replies, "If you went alone, you'd be dead by now. We'll find them smartly." They capture the 2 looters and force them to reveal the camp's location. Meanwhile, Brad's daughter delivers his note to Scarsdale. Using satellites, Scarsdale tracks the missing plane and learns about the dangerous island. He sends a private rescue team with weapons and money bags. At the plane, the co-pilot has managed to restore power. Brad smiles seeing the lights back on. He leaves a message on his uniform for the incoming rescue team and heads toward the camp with Tony. Through the jungle, they reach the hideout where terrorists are recording videos of kidnapped passengers to demand ransom. At the same time, the rescue team arrives at the plane, finds 2 dead looters, and discovers Brad's note leading to the camp. Brad and Tony silently kill 2 guards, then approach the room where passengers are locked. Tony smashes guards with a hammer while Brad grabs a key and frees everyone. "Get in the bus quickly," Brad orders. Everyone rushes to the bus. Tony warns, "There's only one way out, but it's full of armed men." Brad looks at the scared passengers and decides to sacrifice himself. "I'll distract them. You take the passengers out." Tony protests. "They'll kill you." Brad replies, "There's no other choice." Brad steps out, confronts the gang leader, and says, "The rescue team is on its way. Let the passengers go." The terrorists laugh and beat him. "Without money, no one leaves," the leader says. Just then, the private rescue team arrives and attacks. A fierce gunfight breaks out, many terrorists are killed, and Brad is saved. The leader watches his men and brother die and swears revenge. "I'll kill them all," he shouts. On the bus, the rescue captain tells everyone, "We're a small private team, only 5 of us. The real rescue team will take more time to reach here." Brad panics. We don't have time. They'll come after us soon. He gets an idea. The plane has power again. We can fly out before they arrive. They rush to the plane. Brad tells the passengers, "Get in quickly. We can't wait any longer. If we stay, we'll die." The team prepares for another fight as terrorists attack again. A brutal gun battle follows. The rescue team kills many of them. Brad tells the captain, "I'll start the plane in 5 minutes. Get everyone aboard." He thanks Tony for standing by him through everything. Brad dodges bullets and reaches the cockpit. Tony's bullets run out when he looks for more. He finds a bag full of money. But instead of taking it, he grabs ammo and continues fighting. Brad starts the plane. Power surges. And radio reconnects. The airline owner radios in, "Brad, I'll guide you to a safe landing spot nearby." Everyone boards except Tony. He takes the money bag and runs toward the jungle, knowing if he returns, he'll be arrested again. The terrorist leader, furious, aims a rocket launcher at the plane, but Tony spots him just in time and shoots him dead, saving everyone. Brad smiles proudly as the plane lifts off. Tony watches them fly away, content, and disappears into the forest. Brad flies the damaged plane toward the nearest airport. Suddenly, one engine catches fire again. He activates the emergency system and carefully brings the plane down. After a tense few seconds, the plane lands safely on the runway. Everyone cheers. The passengers clap for Brad, thanking him for saving their lives. Moments later, the official rescue team arrives. Brad sends all passengers with them and finally sits on the plane as stares, exhausted but peaceful. He calls his daughter. Her voice brings a smile to his face. "Dad, you're safe?" "Yes, sweetheart. I am coming home." The story ends here. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.